are now tuned into another episode of Allxess, brought to you by Alldaetv Television or Alldaetv, as everyone knows it. And I'd like to introduce myself again as Mr. Content, and I'm still your uncle's uncle. And we're here with two gentlemen. We've got a really good topic in mind this time around, and these are the chronicles of a hip-hop artist. We're gonna divulge into everything that goes behind the psyche of a hip-hop artist, the do's and the don'ts, the challenges of everything. And right on this side, we have a homie called Dex. What's your full name again, Brody?
Dex Tropane.
Dex Tropane,
yes,
as he calls himself. Dex Tropane. Shout out to you, brother.
Shout out to you, Pimpin.
And we have the Mr. himself.
Jerry Coiler.
Jerry Coiler.
Jerry Coiler.
Jerry Coiler.
Ah, oui.
Where did that name come from? Why Coiler specific? I get the Jerry part, but why Coiler?
Let's just say Jerry Springer's my role model.
Ha!
Jerry.
That's funny. Like Coiler, like the bed you sleep on.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. But we're gonna get into a little bit about the chronicles of a hip hop artist, and we're gonna speak about the challenges that these two gentlemen have faced throughout their journey, and we'll get into a little bit more. But firstly, let's start with you, Jerry. Do you think you being an artist takes a toll on your one physical? Actually, let's start with, do you think being an artist takes a toll on your physicality?
For sure, content. I mean, like experience, first-hand experience when I go on stage and I perform a hype track, that requires a lot from me, a lot of energy. I even run out of breath sometimes, my voice disappears and I have to have a bottle of water, which means I gotta prepare for that prior, and that obviously means eating healthy, going to the gym, and just, keeping a positive energy.
Do you do those things?
Not always, but I mean...
But you have to, you're an artist, Brody.
Gotta keep healthy.
I mean, there will come a time where you're on the road and you kind of need to make a schedule for those type of things. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
How will you deal with those challenges when the time comes?
Look, basically we got schedules when we work, So everything you need to do, you gotta put it on the schedule. I mean, we're human beings. We forget a lot. We're lazy. But the schedule just helps you to keep going, and it motivates you to just do everything you need to do.
I like that.
So yeah.
I like that. And for you, Dex, what toll do you think it takes on your mental or your mentality, especially your mental health as an artist? Because I can imagine there are things like social media, there's scrutiny from the people that are listening to your music.
Yeah.
There could be even things at home that you're dealing with. How does an artist go and they face that?
You just have to understand the reality of the situation, right? That the road you're taking as an artist isn't a conventional route for the people that probably know you from childhood.
That's very true.
So you have to be prepared for that, because when it hits, it's just okay, it's like that, and you can't get offended. There's no room for that, for you to...
Who said you can't get offended?
Okay,
I mean, this is, if you think about it, 9 times out of 10, if we're talking about your work, it is your work, right? And you put your life and soul into this thing. Of course you're going to get offended.
Yeah, but you can't let the offense now, you can't dwell on the offense. Okay, you do get offended, but you got to take that as, I don't know, you got to learn from why you're getting offended, and it always gives you an opportunity for insight. That's what I think.
And what do you think could help the betterment of an artist's mental health in terms of dealing with these kind of social ills that, say for instance, a person like an artist, or for instance a high status business person or someone in the public figure?
Yeah.
How do you think people can deal with those type of challenges?
You gotta know yourself and know your environment.
I like that.
Yeah, because it's easy to get lost in the sauce. Like Gucci Mane said,
Shut
a man
up.
without the sauce is
You
lost.
don't get lost.
But the same man can get lost in the sauce. Exactly.
And without the sauce, you lost.
You're not, exactly. So it's about staying true to yourself and to your mission and to your goal, because it gets tricky out there, man.
And speaking about things getting tricky, right?
Yeah.
I imagine that from myself personally, there are things that people do speak about being a hip hop artist. So directing it to you, Jerry, what do you think the misconceptions of a hip hop artist are, or when you tell, it could even be your parents when you say, "Hey, I'm gonna be a rapper," or anyone who thinks anything of being a hip hop artist.
I think that everyone thinks that everyone wants to be a rapper, and then that just clouds everybody's judgment. Like, we are forced with like a whole lot of content that we don't really want to hear, and then it just creates an image that anybody can do this, you know. But it takes more than that. It takes effort, it takes dedication. And I think also when people see hip hop, they feel like you won't necessarily make money, especially like our parents, you know, from what they've seen, basically. They feel like you won't make the money you need to make, you won't live right the way you need to live, you probably will get absorbed into things that...
Don't you kind of feel like that kind of thinking is it's backwards? Because if you think about it, there's so many stars that are in our country and even more worldwide, right? Don't you feel like these people should be the benchmark of, hey, this is possible? And how do you ail that? How do you not confront the world and say, yo, I'm gonna do it?
I feel like the internet right now, that's the best way to confront the world. But with people that precede us, you know, like our parents, they're not about the internet, so they won't see what we see. So yeah, I feel like that's the misconception.
What about for you, Dex? What do you think the misconceptions of being an I wouldn't even say hip hop, I mean artist in general? I can imagine that a designer would go through the same situation. R&B, I feel like the only liking that parents take to is like when you want to go sing gospel, they're gonna be like, yes, my kid's gonna be in church. And what are the misconceptions of being an artist for you?
That it's just like a hobby and that you're not like really serious about anything.
I like that.
Like they think like there's no purpose behind it. Like if you're an artist, you just like Bizzcuit, you're just passing time with it. And to have to explain to someone that you're literally pouring out something from inside of you onto a song, like it gets tiring having to explain that to people. And sometimes people only believe in results. So sometimes you gotta take that like criticism for that moment, knowing that at the end of the day, you know where you're gonna get to, you know what your plan is. So it doesn't matter. Like you hear the noise, but like you just gotta muffle it out. You know.
What's been one of your toughest hardships?
Just convincing my parents. Like it took a while. Yeah, because the relationship isn't the same for a while, because like they have their expectations, they raise you a certain way, they have their plans and you have yours, and along the way you like...
What were their plans for you?
School, you know, do the whole thing.
To study what?
Study accounting, bro. Like I was knee-deep in accounting.
Were you about it though?
I could do it, but then like at some stage it gets to a point where you have to really like wanna do it.
It's almost like you gotta live with the purpose of being an accountant.
Exactly, and that was not in me. And you know, like the fact that like you can add stuff doesn't mean like you really wanna sit there every day and be like, yo, I gotta crunch these numbers, man.
I feel you.
That was not me, and it took a while for myself to like admit it to myself, because I also had those ambitions, you know, because you know you're your parents' child.
Yeah.
You doesn't want to make.
Yeah, you want to make them happy.
Exactly, but at the end of the day, when you know, man. You just it's gotta make sense.
What about for you, Jerry?
I just think that we need, if you surround yourself with a team, people that will push you and motivate you, I feel like that's how we can actually challenge the negativity. You know, people that are cohesive with your energy, you know, move together, motivate each other, you know, advise each other, you know, teach each other. I mean, we young, we got plus minus 50 years to learn, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Just like surround yourself with people with the same movements, same dreams, and same energy, and the hate, man, that won't even phase you.
Nigga, there's no hate in this world, bro. Type of world you're living in, cuz. There's no hate out here, bro.
Yeah.
Unless you live in negative, you feel me? Tell me what are your thoughts on. Actually, let's start with the negatives of being an artist. What are the if you could put them in a tally of say 5 points, or even maybe 3, what do you think the negatives of being a hip hop artist would be, or an artist in general?
An artist in general. I think. Well, in hip hop, I think the derogative language, it might be a negative.
Don't be a bitch.
I mean, it's an evolving world, content. You know, not all of us got slapped when we like were mischievous. So you know, a lot of us are kind of sensitive. So I feel like that is somehow a negative.
So you don't like the word?
I mean, I like it, but
Oh, you like the word?
the
Oh, misogynistic
world-
much? Nah, I'm kidding, bro.
I don't know about the world though. You know.
Yeah.
They might view it in a very negative manner.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just the language.
Only the
We
language?
could improve on the language.
What else? What else do you think? Because I mean, there's quite an extensive list as to the negatives of this whole shit. Because I can even put down something as simple as time. People don't value your time in particular because they think that you're just this machine who's like on stage or either recording or doing some shit all day, and they forget that people have families. You know,
Exactly.
people have other people to take care of. People have their own shit to do. You know, so it's a bit wild. What about for you, Dex? What do you think the negatives of being an artist are?
Yeah, I think as you mentioned now, it just came to me like the time thing. Thing is, you don't have like a normal or traditional work structure. Like you clock in and clock out. You work when you work. You work when you want to get it out and when you want to get it done. And sometimes, you know, like a lot of upcoming artists, they're doing it from like bedroom studio or backroom studio or like trap in like, you know, someone's grand's crib or something like that. So your homies, sometimes it's like they don't take it seriously as like that's your grind, like this is
Like
what
you
you're
would.
trying to make money off.
Yeah.
So like, for example, you'll be chilling in studio and like dudes pull up because like it's chilled, it's a chill vibe. You're just like, it's just dudes out there, sound boom boom pow. But you don't rock up to your doctor friend while he's like checking up on patients and be like, hey, what's cracking, you know, stethoscope, you know, you don't do that. So like, it's that level of seriousness that people give it is just not there.
Yeah,
And
so
of
so
course,
so
like,
so,
money.
so you think like people take it like they
Like
take a
just
very,
chill.
a very lackluster approach
Yeah,
about
yeah.
people being artists, and
Yeah.
in fact in their minds
Like,
it's
yeah.
a
We'll be
big
in
deal
the
for them.
studio, and then person will ask where the girls at.
Like what girls, bro?
For what? For what reason must they be girls? Like,
We at work.
this is a
bruh.
job, dude.
I
Yeah.
feel you, and I can relate with that because I like your point about the doctor because maybe a phone call now and then, but no one's checking up on a
know-
doctor and pulling up on a
Go.
yo.
Dude.
Let's go have a quick six real
Dude,
quick.
dude,
We'll be
yeah.
back in a bit. You know what I mean?
well, so, yeah.
So basically the bottom line would be people aren't taking the craft serious in any way, shape, or form. And like I said, it could be a designer, it could be a sculptor, it could be a painter. People just think it's just you maybe lazing around or something of
As
that
long as
nature.
you're not like 9 to 5, as long as you're not like reporting to someone, I don't want to say they don't want to, but like there's something stopping them from like just
Don't you
it doesn't
think?
click to them, you know, like this is work.
Don't you think that's how our world is designed right now, though? Because if you think about it, there's two types of people in this world. There are people who work for the man, and there's people who don't, right? And 9 times out of 10, the people who work for the man are the guys who are overachieving very quickly. But the people who work for themselves usually get to their results after a while, but their result is a bit more fulfilling than what the people of the man who work for the man would feel. You know what I mean? So if it wasn't for music or your art, would there be anything else that you're doing right now, Jay?
Honestly,
I mean, because we've all thought about this.
Yeah, honestly, man, I don't know. I wouldn't be productive, man.
You wouldn't be.
If I didn't have my art, I don't know where I'd be actually. Yeah.
Which disciplines are you skilled in?
I'm skilled in interior design actually.
Okay.
Interior design, production,
Mm-hmm.
music production, and just fine arts, visual arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how
Apart
and
from
how
the
long
poetry and the raps.
how long has that taken you to hone into, master it, perfect it,
You know,
and for people to still say like, yo,
ever since
you're still playing
I've
games.
known who I am, really. I've been doing art ever since I've been a child. You know, ever since I could speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a part of me my whole life. So I don't see anything I could do besides in the arts. You know.
So let's bring it back to a higher note, because that was a little bit sad, if you ask me.
I was deep, honestly, man.
What are the positives about the whole journey?
Oh man, self-discovery, definitely. You learn something new about yourself every day, and people in general, you know. Like art is always like a snapshot of society at the time. So when you're able to just understand the world like that and put it into a format that someone else can understand it and be like, that's true.
I like how you put that.
Yeah, it's really dope to know that, you know what, I'm not wasting my time here. I'm actually doing something that someone can actually learn from or receive and understand, and they'll interpret it, you know, in their own way. So just being able to put out something that someone can learn something from is fulfilling. It makes it feel like, well, it reminds me that it's not like
It's not for
a
nothing.
hobby. Yeah,
It's not for nothing.
It's not just passing time.
What about for you, Jerry? What are the positives in doing what you're doing?
And doing what I do.
In the journey
First
of
of
being
all, it's
an artist.
self-fulfilling. So I'm happy every time I do music. I become happy with myself, and it just makes me. It fills me up with a possibility to achieve. You know, yeah, it just fills me up with a possibility to do more.
Yeah.
It motivates me. It gives me a mentality that I could do whatever I want, enjoy it, and still succeed in this lifetime.
So since we're speaking about all this art, where do you personally feel you want to take it in your own personal journey, or in your own personal chronicles? Because I mean there's a lot of people out there who are trying to achieve some shit, do some shit, want to be some shit. Where does that put you in that spectrum? What do you want to do? How do you feel you can make things better for whatever the case is?
I wanna be in a position where I can motivate, you know, people that are upcoming, just like I am. You know, motivate young people who are artists who may feel oppressed or feel like they're not getting the support that they are due from home or wherever it be. You know, I feel like I want to be in a place where I can motivate people and just inspire them to do great things and just improve their lives, basically.
And for you, Dex?
Yeah, very similar, but yeah, I like that music can make someone like look within themselves and understand themselves better. Because I remember when I started rapping, I was like writing out.
How old were you when you started rapping?
When I started recording music, I was like high school, 50. But when I started writing, it was never like consistent. But I remember my first time was I was 9. I was listening to Eminem on my Walkman. Yeah,
Shout
that
out.
long ago.
Yeah, Eminem started me off too.
Yeah, so I'm like writing out his lyrics, and then I got to a point where I'm like, there was a line I could relate to, but like I changed like one word, like from like mom to dad or him to her or something like that. And then it felt more fulfilling when it came from my perspective. Like when I just changed that one word, I was like, oh shit, now this is me now.
Yeah.
And I just kept at it, and I was like, you know, felt like I was getting something out. And then obviously at like that age I didn't understand, but like I
Like
just
what you were
felt
doing,
it,
yeah.
But then as time grew, as time passed, it became that to me. It was like, we're not right now. It's
So you just trying to inspire the kids, bro.
yeah, man. I want someone to listen to my stuff and be like, man, that's me. I could,
Yeah.
to look within themselves and find that spark.
I feel you, man. I feel
And
you.
it doesn't even have to make them want to be a rapper.
At the end of the day, what I can take from this is that I think this journey just genuinely isn't an easy one, and it's only for the strong-hearted.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think we can adjourn it there, brodies. We can adjourn it there. And for those that are watching, I think this should be inspiration to keep doing more. Keep doing more until you feel it in here. Number Black is gonna perform for us today. And tell us about the song a little bit.
The song is called On My Mind, and it's one of those like crazy songs. Like, we were really looking, it's different from what we were making at the time. So it was inspired by like the recklessness of youth
Yeah.
and just that that wildness.
Yeah, yeah.
So we just captured that energy, and it's like a quick song, but like you just get everything. It's like a quick dose of everything, and I love it because it's just so well executed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You, Jerry?
Yeah, I think it just shuns off the negativity like you were talking about. If you listen to the song, it really puts a shield over the negativity.
Yeah. So we're all about the positivity today,
We're
huh?
all about the positivity.
I feel you, bros. I feel you, bros. And as you heard the boys say, it's all about the positivity today. And for our next performance, we have Number Black with the record called Up My Mind. And that's all we have for the show today, ladies and gentlemen. I go by the name Content. Still your uncle's uncle. You tuned in to Allxess, and you are now watching Alldaetv. I'm signing out.
Go. Check coast, evaluate this pity maqala. Geen ghost la marintwani busy mpika badala. Sebasifanisa namaphara yizo my brother. Biza bokhata bangisize ngokubophisa legada. Yeah, take it to the high court. Probably give the judge that. Yelling fuck the 5-0. Number Black riders what I fight for. Swimming with these sharks, smelling blood. Feed 5-4. Nigga 30 grams, that's the re-up. Niggas switch side when they see us. Hey. She a 10 from the knee up. Hey. She look better 30,000 feet up. Hey. Oh, yeah, say. Oh, you got me on my mind. Oh, you got me on my mind. Oh, you got me on my mind. Oh, you got me on my mind.
And what do they want the kid? 24/7, I keep it legit. Number Black rider, I been in a ditch. Fucking alone, never seen with a bitch. Come with a kilo, I leave with a brick. I don't need any more cheese in the click. Fire emoji, the sneakers are lit. Plug when they kick it with Speezy and shit. In the dark, you motherfuckers better ask somebody. Pair of Jordans, type the cost the duffel bag of money. I ain't talking less a nigga for the dollar something. So let's talk my dollars, I'm a 30 bags, that's the re-up.
Niggas switch side when they see us. Hey. She a 10 from the knee up. Hey. She look better 30,000 feet up. Hey. Oh, yeah, say. Hey. Oh, you got me on my mind. Hey. Oh, you got me on my mind. Hey. Oh, you got me on my mind. Hey. Oh, you got me on my mind.
And what do they want the kid?